Aloha, everyone. I am so grateful to be of service to humanity and cosmic family through listening to the messages and information I'm getting and sharing, and doing so courageously. So tonight I'm excited. It's 11:44 here in Colorado, and this is my mom time right now, my me time, my time to create. And so in this beautiful hour of 11:44, symbolic of the many of us who are just really awakening to our power and purpose, I am doing some readings from my cosmic cards. So I'm really excited to show these to the world right now. Let's see here, there we go. So this one is Find Your Roar, and the beautiful model is Paris Latka, really invoking the energy of DNA activation, the energy of Leo speaking our truth, and you can see here her harmonizing with her spirit animal of the lion and climbing that DNA ladder. This one is a new one, the Elemental Goddesses. As you can see, have beautiful models. Dr. Amber Galshani, Ingrid Henderson, Stephanie Persephone, aka Ether, and myself, Do Renee, as Earth. So we have Earth, Fire, Water, and Air, symbolizing the balance of all of the elements within ourselves. And then next we have this one that's super new, Unconditional Love, showing how we can communicate across space and time. This is actually something really new with characters, brand new characters from Cosmic 2.2 Level Up, the sequel to Cosmic, and Gerard is doing a rescue mission in Alpha Centauri, whereas Mirazi is doing a diplomatic tour of the solar system, and they're not going to see each other for 7 linear time years, and they'll meet again on Earth. So the quote for this is, "Unconditional love is a portal. When we love, even across infinite space and time, we invoke quantum entanglement." Quantum entanglement meaning when you do something to one particle, then it immediately happens to the other particle, even if it's millions and millions of light years away. That is the magic that quantum scientists are finding. This one is card 9, Leap of Faith, showing the energy of the heart chakra. The backstory of this card is that the beautiful model Alex has gone through a beautiful journey of forgiveness of herself and people she loves, and invoking that fierce energy that is available when we forgive. So the energy of the deep green forest, the jaguar, the heart energy, unlocking our 0 point energy field, our infinite self. This is the Egg of Life with beautiful model Deanna. And as you can see, she's holding that egg of life and has a lot of different spirit animals, invoking that energy of oneness with nature, creation, bringing up our young people. You can see there's a picture there of her with my daughter Zelda. So invoking that egg of life within us, nurturing it, allowing it to come to birth. This is Never Alone with model Jen Cobb. And you can see there's a lonely witch walking in the dark forest, maybe feeling lost, but then having a moment of illumination as she realizes that her guides are all around her. And you can even see here, there is herself holding a hoop of life, as well as another goddess, and the goddess in the moon, which is her, and the owl guide in the back as well. This one's also reminding us to know we're never alone. This is remembrance, remembering our parallel selves. And with this one, this is inspired by my remembrance of parallel lives. And in here you can see that I have different star systems that I feel connection to personally, of remembrance. As I say that, I just got source ripples. And knowing that I can connect to that remembrance, of knowing that I came here consciously as I skydive down into Earth, bringing those ancient codes and energies of traveling through the Merkavik field, which is our safe way to travel through space and time. This is in Gaia's hand, a beautiful model, Dr. Kelly Gelhoff, symbolizing the Mother Earth energy and being able to surrender to our infinite mother self. This one, I don't have the title on it physically, but this one is called Begin Again, and it's actually with model Clinton Cooper, who he actually died by suicide in 2020, and so this picture really inspired me. It's a picture from many years prior to that, of him really embracing his heart energy. And on the bottom is actually a picture of him at the beach in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And so his spirit ascending into that heart-centered self, and that it's never too late to begin again, either in this life physically, and those people who choose through whatever means to move on physically, healing all judgment of that, and knowing that that ability to begin again is always here. And this one, in that same story and topic, this one's actually kind of one of the few cards that I'm starting to channel through that has a bit of that darker energy and allows us to look at that shadow self. So I'm actually playing with the title for this one. There's no title on it physically yet. One of them I played with is disillusionment, and another one is Crazy Horse. This is the Lucifer horse statue next to Denver International Airport, and this is actually a real picture from a video that one of my spirit friends and father of my son took, actually less than 30 minutes before he died by suicide at that horse. And so I felt that it was important to put these images together to bring a card that allows us to look more into the ways that we sometimes put illusions on ourselves. What are the ways that we trick ourselves into believing that we don't have the power, or that we're being hurt, or that we're being taken advantage of? And in what ways can we cut through that disillusionment, and let go of that crazy horse energy within ourselves, being able to come into seeing things with clarity. And this one is called Divine Discipline. This one is indicative in showing the energy that can come forth when divine masculine, divine feminine come together in unity, and as well as that within ourselves too, even if there's not another person that we're co-creating with in any specific way right now. When that consistency comes forth, what can we create? And in this case, this is a picture of when I was actually pregnant with our daughter Zelda that I edited and put Zelda's face there because I know that her spirit was definitely watching us at that time. This one is called Follow the Call, and it's with my beautiful friend and model Victoria Theorens. She definitely has that mermaid energy, so it's actually a lost siren being guided by the energy and spirit of water to follow her calling to, with the siren energy, sometimes has the energy of women doing so much to impress, and so following her true calling through the water of the mother and the energy of water mother, and being able to follow the call towards our true purpose. This is called Cosmic Mother, and this one was actually when I was pregnant with my daughter Zelda, and invokes just that energy of knowing that anything is infinitely possible, that we have access to anything, and invoking that inner nebula within all of us, especially as we invoke our purpose. This is actually based off of a show that we did called Transmuting, sacred theater and cathartic dance and movement. And through that sacred storytelling, there was so much energy that was transmuted. We did the performance in various places in the community here in Pueblo, Colorado. And that word transmuting is so powerful as we start to transmute dense energies right now, emotions, traumas, and in what ways can we own that and find practices, whether it's dance, movement, talking about it, writing about it, sharing about it, doing whatever practices resonate with us to transmute energies, especially dense energies like grief, anger, shame, resentment, those energies, being able to transmute those into power. This one is called Reset. And with this, it's resetting back to self-love, resetting ourselves back into the energy of divine alignment, divine truth, like the energy of the eclipse. And in the energy of the eclipse, it's similar to when we come into that self-love, the 0 point field of the heart, because when there's an eclipse, it actually resets the electromagnetic field of the earth in a sense. Yep, I think that was all the ones for now that I'm sharing for tonight. Really grateful to have connected with all of you. And if anyone, hi, Fatima. I am Fatima. Yes, I just thought I'd try to see if anyone at this odd hour, because I was so inspired by this is Color Me Crazy on Instagram and his amazing readings. I felt called to start to share my cosmic cards with people. Yeah, I'm not a psychic. However, I'm very intuitive. Yeah, I don't know who that is, and I'm not a psychic. However, I'd say that anything is possible, like these cards say. I think the card, what I offered was that I would show a card for sure through a card. Yeah. Okay, got you. Cool. Now I understand. Thanks, Fatima, for explaining what you meant. I always have to be clear with that so people understand. Cool. Yeah, so like I'm not going to answer yes or no to these questions that I put up on the screen. However, I will through cards just intuitively. Like I said on my messages, these are all digital cards right now. And so I don't have them physically printed. I do have some printed in photo tiles. However, I don't have them in cards. I'm exploring the best way to do that. And so, yeah, Fatima, just relax for a moment. Obviously, at this time, hopefully, you're in a place where you can rest. You're not driving or anything. And just uncross your arms, uncross your legs. Sit however is comfortable or lay. And I'm just going to take a moment to connect to you and then see what cards of the current cards I just showed a moment ago come through. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, so I'm just revisiting your cards, your questions, and the one that came through in a picture is first one being this one. So sometimes we can self-sabotage ourselves. Self-sabotage meaning we have a goal, but then we have something like one of my coaches calls conflicting interests. So this card, and I just got source ripples as I said that. So conflicting interests must be important. Word, specifically a phrase for the first question you asked, and really for both questions actually. And so this card comes through because there must be some deep healing to do, so that specifically with trying to make certain goals and grades, like that first question you asked me, looking at what are the subconscious things that we need to heal. An example, real time, just so that you can understand more about what I'm saying, is like for me in my co-creation and knowing that I'm worthy to be making an abundant income with my spiritual gifts and my authorship gifts and the other gifts that I have. I also have this conflicted interest or competing perspective that, oh, money is bad, or I don't know if I deserve that. I don't want to be too showy. All these like subconscious thoughts that are very sometimes subtle, sometimes louder, that are competing my energy, kind of like a game of tug of war, where I'm really awesome, Sage. Cool. Sage, you can go next. I just saw that. Yeah, and so Fatima, just to, with this question specifically up on the screen now, if really with the competing interests like this card is showing, transmuting will be key. And so just bringing those two phrases of competing interests, conflicting interests is something that felt really resonant, as well as transmuting. So transmuting means like taking that compost and turning it into beauty. So, they joke, you can take poop and turn it into flowers, which is so true. So, and so, yeah, basically with what these people are trying to accomplish right now in their lives, really looking at what can I, like totally seemingly unrelated to this goal of these grades you're talking about. And even with this question of, ooh, does this person like me or not? The card that came through is this card that says transmuting, where you can see these people, they're dancing, they're moving, they're taking all these actions, and actually specifically in the creation of the scene for this card, for the art that that these pictures were taken from, the dancers are actually going back and forth. There's actually a really great recording from this performance where we're going back and forth, because I was actually somewhere in that picture, and part of this show that this picture was used for to make this card. We're taking actions forward and we're taking actions backwards, and we're kind of conflicted, and we're wondering, should it go forward? Should it go backwards? And then we're actually making it harder on ourselves because we are doubting ourselves in the process. And so the key is to not say, oh, I shouldn't be doubting myself. Stop doubting myself. Stop doubting myself. Instead, just look within and feel into that doubt. Love that doubt. Say, what's this about? And a real-time example for me with my previous example would be, oh, I've had mistakes I've made with finances before, and I feel ashamed of myself for making those mistakes. What could I do? I could make a budget. I could start to feel good. I could start to set money goals, and not only money goals, but abundance goals greater than money. So that's like a real-time example of feeling into that doubt, specifically with your two questions, and looking at those dense emotions, specifically in that map of consciousness I've shown before here on this live. In fact, I'm called just to end your reading because I'm all about combining science and spirit. Map of Consciousness. It's by Dr. David Hawkins, and this will be really helpful for you, so that way you can kind of visualize what I'm saying here. Basically, that there's lower vibration energies. They're not bad or wrong. However, it is important for us to see them and understand them. And so as you can see here, in the survival paradigm, energies that we need to transmute, remember the card I drew for you is transmuting. So survival paradigm, moving away from shame, guilt, apathy, and grief. Now, key point, don't spiritually bypass. Don't just say, oh, I can't feel those anymore. Just forget about it. Let me just focus on feeling high or doing something to distract myself from those energies. No, really play into it, feel into it, love into it. Ooh, why am I feeling this grief? Why am I feeling apathy? Why do I just want to lay on the couch all day? Why do I want to have these goals for this love life or these grades? However, I'm taking actions opposite of that, and really feel into it. Use your resources. Take the medical, spiritual, community resources that you have to really heal and transmute those energies. And so this is your card again. So this is your card transmuting. So just take a good look at it again and those words, and I hope that really provided insight for you. Please comment if it did. And in the description, if you're so called, there's a sliding scale donation request of $7.77 up to $33.33 on my information there in the description, and I'll also put it up on the screen right now. Yeah, so Sage, if you're still here, I hope you are. You might not be. If you are, just leave a comment, and then I can totally tune in. In fact, because I will just send this to you, I'm going to go ahead and tune in, even though you don't have anything specific that you've written. But please put anything specific. Oh, you are. Yeah. I think on my end, I can't see if everyone's watching. Sometimes it only shows me certain things. Cool, Sage. Is there anything specific that you want to comment? Like anything you want to declare? Anything you just want to share? Hey, Delta on YouTube. Totally open to do readings if that is of interest to you, resonance, or you can just listen, because all these messages are also important for the collective as well. I do believe that every reading for every person has some golden nuggets for us. So Sage, I think you're typing something that you want to share. Cool. Sage says nothing specific, just what you feel. Awesome. Yeah. So at this late hour, hopefully you're able to sit down, lay down in a place where you're safe, not driving. Uncross your legs, uncross your arms, and just be. Don't have to try to beam anything. Just be, and we'll just connect for a moment. Awesome. Cool. And Delta, yeah, I'm doing it through cards. So just take a watch and see what I do for Sage, and then you can decide from there. So Sage, I'm just tuning in. Like I said, these are all digital cards right now. I don't have them physically printed out, so I'm going to go over to my cards and just see. I'm actually going to close my eyes and just see where it lands. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking this card, but I didn't want to assume, and then it landed on it when I was. Yeah, so there we go. So this card is called Never Alone. Hold on, I'm going to drink some water. There's some energies going through that I feel connection to in relation. So this card is meant to say, oh, you're never alone, because you have your guides and you have all these things that I'll get into. However, I just got that you're never alone because you always have yourself. And that's providing something for me right now. So thank you, Sage. There's a message for me in this too, so I thank you. Yeah, my knee is shaking and I'm getting chills all up and down my arms. And this message is so important for everyone right now. So we always have, like this image has with this witch who is lost in the woods. She's feeling lost, but then has a moment of illumination as that energy just opens up in her third eye, and she sees in a moment, oh my gosh, I have my guides here. I have my owl spirit guide. I have the moon goddess. I have the goddess of life holding the circle of life around me. I'm not alone. I've been living in an illusion. Oh my gosh, I've been living in this victimhood, like I need someone else, and really I have myself, and I have all these guides which are one with me. So it's like this moment of a light bulb moment. So perhaps you're going through that right now, where you and hey Holly, thanks for joining. Just go ahead and watch the reading for Sage right now and see if you're feeling called to to ask for one as well. And yeah, just I'm seeing that you're really connecting to your self-sovereignty, that you maybe had a time and maybe are still healing from. It was even hard for you to maybe be alone physically, like just even at your house. And, you know, I know I can relate to this, just seeking energy in your phone or something to distract from just being alone with thoughts. And this card is showing us that you're never alone. And even aside from all the guides and friends and family, like the message that came through, that was actually something I never really thought of when I made this card, is you're never alone because you always have yourself. And that's really powerful. And that, again, provides something for me. So please let me know if this resonates with you. And if any part of any time my readings don't resonate or they seem off, please let me know too. And we can always like dance into that and see what that's about. But that really came through. And I think that's something for the collective. That's what the 2020 to 2022 really impasse. We're kind of coming to normalcy, kind of maybe, or I should say new normal. And the quarantine and the energies of just facing isolation and facing that fear and the darkness and actually loving that darkness and that shadow enough to where we say, oh, whoa, it sucked to be isolated, but we can do it. We're able to get through it. And I learned a lot about myself. And there's loss that happened. I know our family lost and friends lost several to suicide in that time. And so this card is very important to me specifically, and I know for you too, Sage, because it came through for you, that just remember you are never alone because you have yourself, you have your guide, you have everyone, and to just know that. So that's what came through for now. Thank you so much. And if you're so called to, feel free to send sliding scale energy exchange to that information there. And so Holly, I see you. Delta had asked just before you, so Holly is on deck, and Delta. I was just gonna do two people at first, but I've suddenly become really energized. So I really thank you all for your collective energy because it's really providing, and I appreciate you all. Cool, Holly. I see that you said general, and I just do like 5 to 6 minutes. So if Delta is still on, feel free to let me know. Delta, unless you comment here in the next 30 seconds to a minute, then I'll move on to Holly, and then we can always get you to do a reading in the future, because I usually like the person to be on if possible, because that helps into tuning into the energy. And so I think Delta might still be on, but if not, Delta, I think you were watching on YouTube. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to, let me give just 30 more seconds. Okay, so Holly, just make sure, it's 12:12 a.m. here. And before I move on to Holly, Holly, just get comfortable while I just read out this comment from Sage. And wow, Sage said the reading definitely does resonate. She's healing from cancer surgery and couldn't be alone. I am at my best and strongest when I depend on myself, but it has been the loneliest time in my life, realizing how alone I am, that I have me, and I'm not going to lose myself with all this going on. I'm just going to reflect that. Just thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm so glad that this card has resonated for you. And wow, thank you so much. And I see you, and gosh, you're so strong. Thank you. Just really grateful for you, Sage. And Holly, just get comfortable. And I hear you and what you said. I know that yeah, I'm not sure specifically to what you're referencing here. Feel free to share more. I invite you to actually, before you type anymore, just close your eyes and just be for a moment and uncross your arms, uncross your legs if that feels good. Go ahead and lay down or sit down. Make sure you're able to be focused. Hopefully, you're not driving or anything. Probably not at this late hour. And okay, so I need you to go ahead and take 3 deep breaths with me, because I know that you're feeling lost right now and you're feeling that your life sucks. I understand that. Let's take 2 more deep breaths. I invite you to really take this on. Breathe in and out. Okay. Keep breathing, okay? And I'm just going to intuitively go through, and you can feel free to comment more if you'd like. I might not see all the comments. I'm going to close my eyes and just intuitively go through and pick. Okay, interesting. So there's something with your biological or real, or maybe, or I should say biological or otherwise mom. That's This card isn't necessarily always about mom, but as I got it, that's what helped me know that. And okay, hold on. Keep breathing, okay? It's time to go back to the start. Go back to the first time that you fell in love and what was going on in your life at that time. Okay. So there's been some traumas that you've gone through going back to even before you were 10. And this card is calling on for you to connect to nature, because she's our original mother, Mother Earth, Gaia, and to surrender to Mother's hands. This is actually beautiful art that features my friend, Dr. Kelly Gelhoff, who's a mother of 4. She's an amazing mother. I feel like all people that haven't had the best mother experience, if they could just have this mother, they would be like healed. And it's up to us to heal ourselves and to no longer blame. So I'm also feeling a big calling along with this to forgiveness. So I'm lovingly prescribing, because I'm feeling it come through from your higher spirit, just kind of talking through me. 2 to 3 times in nature a week. Even if the closest thing to nature for you is just a patch of grass with your feet on the ground, ideally you can even get to at least a park. Maybe, I'm not sure exactly where you're located geographically, but maybe a small inner city park, a nature park, the mountains, ocean, somewhere that's like more in nature with others, with by yourself, if that's safe to do so, 2 to 3 times a week. And in that time, journaling specifically about just any energy from you shared in your comments about just your love life. Where was that, like I said a moment ago, when was that first time that you fell in love, or that first time you felt energy? What was going on around you? Because those things that were going on around you, you're now attaching to your love life, and you are it's like self-sabotage. So and like I told someone else earlier, I'm not necessarily a psychic. I do sense energy. Sometimes truths come through. However, I can't claim to answer either of these questions for you. I can just tell you from this card that you will get the answers yourself. through surrendering to, like I said, specifically if there's any healing to do with your mother or parents, that despite that seems, even though that seems unrelated from like the conscious mind or maybe ego mind, just trust that it is totally related. In fact, just something I'm sensing for you. Okay. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. So I hear that your mom died, and so that's actually really powerful because um, you can actually connect to her in spirit, and she's going to have some guidance for you. I'm not sure what your relationship was like before she died, but however it was, I'm just feeling like I'm feeling a lot of love from her, from Mary, and just feeling like, wow, I just felt almost a pat on my back and just like love, and that she's like hugging you right now. She's like, I'm here for you. You don't need anyone else. And if you come, okay, this is direct from her. You don't need anyone else. And if you come from that space, then you're more likely to have the love that you want to attract. But if you're grasping at it and you're like, I need it, does he love me? Then you're going to repel it and you're going to push it away. So come back to self-love. Another one, actually, I'm just called to share another card because it just came through. Usually I just do one, but reset, total reset. It's never too late to restart. So whatever you've been doing in terms of practices, you need to bring in that daily ritual, like I talked about, 2 to 3 times a week in nature, feet on the ground, bare feet if possible. And then whatever other practices for your practice that you like to have, maybe some YouTube meditations, get the meditation apps. Let your intuition guide you to the tools and teachers you need. I'm here as a guide as well. And this practice has been transformative for me. And if you message me, I'd actually like to offer you, this just is coming out of my mouth, I'd like to offer you my Radical Quantum Self-Love course for free. I can give you a coupon code. It's just a simple 7-day teaching, like 7 to 10 minutes a day. And radical quantum self-love practices like self-love hugs, mirror gazing, some meditations, really simple practices that have really transformed my life, that I'm still practicing every time I meet a new level of growth, because every time you come up against that next growth point, sometimes you're going to start doubting yourself, even if like you transformed way back here and you were like, oh, I love myself, then why am I over here still doubting myself? That's just because you're at that next growth point. So I know for me, I'm actually kind of in a similar space where I'm bringing more self-love because I'm leveling up my level of leadership and my purpose. And so this one practice, if you're watching right now still, give yourself a self-love hug right now, because you are the one that needs to receive the love from yourself. And if you give that love to yourself and you don't need it from anyone, then you're going to be magnetic, and people, the right people, because maybe this person that you talked about, they might not be the right person, and I don't know. And like I said, I'm not a psychic here to give yes or no answers. I'm here to help direct you to your guidance. And cool. Yeah. Yeah, and I saw your other comments, Holly, and I see your comment, Shine Moon, too. So, like I said, and the last advice I give is someone who's happily married and in a very positive communication relationship now after having had abusive ones in the past, just communicate. If you're asking these questions, ground yourself first. Don't come from neediness. Ground yourself first and just ask. Open up the communication. And have boundaries. Don't send 1,000 messages. But yeah. And if you're so called, I would so appreciate any love donation or sliding scale energy exchange with information here below to my Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal. Really so much appreciated. All right. Cool. I'm so glad, Holly. Take some of these practices to heart and felt them come straight through from your mother as well as from your higher self. And yeah, go have a conversation with Josh and come from self-love and self-empowerment, not neediness. All right. So Shine Moon, like I said, I'm I'm not a psychic and can't and choose not to try to give yes or no answers. However, sometimes guidance and sensings do come through. So if it's interesting you say G, because my husband's name is Garrett, and I call him G sometimes, so it's funny. If G want and care about me, so this is like I'm sensing something similar to Holly. So there's hopefully you heard some of what I said to Holly. Yeah, you met at a hotel. I'm just catching up on comments. How does he feel about me? And yes, you are next. Shine, if you're still on, I hope you are. Yeah. Did you want to know? Does he want to hear from me? Okay. And okay. Hi, beautiful Shine Moon. So, please go ahead and uncross your hands, relax your hands, uncross your legs. Hopefully you're not driving or anything. If you are, let me know. Go ahead and relax, sitting up or laying down. I'm just going to connect to our infinite quantum entanglement field of consciousness and just connect to you, Shine Moon. Okay, Shine. Okay. All right, I'm feeling some more words from you telepathically. Okay, stop. Take a deep breath in. Let it all out. 2 more. Breathe in. And another one. Okay. That's better. Your energy is like a fire hose of energy because you just want to know and you want to know what's next. And I understand. I'm going to actually switch my view here. There we go. Make those cards a little bigger. Okay, you go by Rosie. Thanks for letting me know that, Rosie. Rosie, I know you really want to know all the answers. Like I told Holly, sometimes when we are wanting something so bad, we're pushing it away. So when we want something so bad, we're pushing it away, then we're self-sabotaging. And we're wanting something so bad because we're not looking back at ourselves for the answers first or looking back at ourselves for the validation. So I'm just going to start with that because I'm feeling that strongly. And I'm going to go ahead and intuitively go through the cards and close my eyes and go through these digital cards and see what comes through. Oh, wow. Okay, so this card, I don't have the title on it. I'm actually still working on the final title. Okay, so I could be incorrect in this, and I want you to know that I could be incorrect. But this is the second time that I've gotten like strong messages today. I was actually going to go somewhere, and my guidance said, don't go. And I don't usually like get super strong guidance like that, where it's just like, stop what you're doing. This was just me personally. And so interesting, I had that today, and I pulled this card for you. So you might not have heard me when I introduced all the cards earlier in the live. So this card just is very powerful for me personally. So I'm just going to share the backstory first so you can understand why I'm kind of feeling a lot right now. And I'm also feeling you. So this card is based on the true story of my son's biological father. And he died by suicide. And I have been sharing about this publicly. You can actually find articles on it and everything. He died by suicide at the Denver International Airport Blue Horse statue, or Blucifer. He went there. He was under the influence of different substances. We were separated at the time for about a year. And he had relapsed very recently after being sober for a while, and he went there, shot into traffic, and then shot himself. And for closure, I actually chose to see the footage myself and also just to know what really happened. And so these pictures, the picture is actually of him before he took a video of himself, and I took that screenshot because I'm a big advocate for talking about mental wellness and suicide. I was before he took the act, and especially now. And then, of course, the blue horse statue. If you've been to Denver International Airport, it's a really kind of freaky looking blue horse with red eyes. And it actually killed the maker of it because it fell on him right when he was done making it. So there's like some dark energy in this card, but not in a bad way. It's in a way of like a warning sign, and you're grateful for that warning sign. Like tonight, when I was guided to not go to the gym late at night, I have no idea why I was not guided to go to the gym. I was guided to stay home and exercise here. But like I was kind of telling my husband, I was like, I might never know why I was guided not to go. I hope that I never have to find out what danger that was. And Rosie, I don't know if he has mental issues, or maybe there's something within you that is not ready for a relationship. I'm not going to try to speak to the truths in the matter in this. What I can tell you, what the card is saying, is to just stop. Don't jump into something so quick. Like if I could go back in time, because like I said, this card is based on a real life experience. I know it's kind of intense, but thanks for listening to the intense story. If I could go back in time, I would stop him and say, stop. This card's title that I've been playing with is disillusionment. So disillusionment can happen when we want something so badly to be true. In this situation, he was really convinced something that was true that wasn't. And so, again, I'm not saying what's true in the situation. If he has mental issues or you do, you know, I think that we all do in a sense, right? And so we just have to look at those. I call them challenge opportunities rather than problems or issues, and really say, okay, what can I own in myself? What can I start to, instead of trying to just find another relationship to fix something. And again, I may be incorrect on this, take or leave whatever I say. However, I'm feeling this strongly, especially it seems like you maybe met very recently. I don't know for a fact, or if it was, there's definitely a reason that you met. And again, I might be totally wrong. This might be a very important situation for you, a very important relationship. But among all of those possibilities, what's true is that you can focus on self-healing and self-love. And just look at any, I'm hearing the word red flags, just look out for them, because this card is literally like that kind of red flag energy. So thank you so much, Shine. Rosie. Yeah, like I said, Rosie, please don't take anything necessarily literally, but I did share the background of that card just so you know. And if you're so called and felt any powerful from this, it's totally welcome a sliding scale energy exchange to my information here on the screen, to my Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal. So appreciated. And so I see that Isnarda Martinez. She wants to know of her neighbor who passed away. Will his will be honored? Oh, interesting. Yeah, and so, like I said to other people, I'm not necessarily a psychic in that I can get yes or no answers. And honestly, with all the energies right now, it's like dream weaving a carpet. There's so many infinite threads of possibilities that honestly, when people say yes or no, they're really only saying yes or no to an answer. And I'm not saying that they're wrong, like psychics, but really, my spiritual and scientific perspective, being a very spiritual and also scientific person, having been a mechanical engineer for many years, there's infinite threads, like seeing a carpet or a loom. So there's so many possibilities, and honestly, they're ever changing. And as we become more and more aware of our consciousness and our power to create our reality, that's becoming more and more malleable. So just know that, and that actually your intention in the matter can help it move towards the outcome you would prefer to see, especially when you're coming from love, not control or ego or mind only, but coming from love. So I sense you do have love and affection and care and compassion for John, your neighbor. So I just invite you to uncross your arms and cross your legs, sit comfortably. Let's just take a couple breaths in and out. Continue to breathe, and I'm just going to intuitively go through and see what card comes through. So it's interesting this card came through. So I'm going to probably do another one here in a minute, but I see why this card came through as well. This is Reset, which I was talking about with someone earlier. So I'm called to ask you to give yourself a self-love hug. The message first, before we talk about anything with someone else, is, and it's a little blunt, worry a little less about everyone else and more about yourself. Not only with the problems and things you need to work on, but with your self-love and appreciation. So I understand that you have this concern about your neighbor, and it's time for you to have your focus being less on like what's going on out here and more about yourself. And as you do that, you're going to actually tune into your intuition and your guidance systems and know answers more powerfully, where you'll just know, and you'll also be able to affect outcomes with love. So I'm glad that that card came through first. I'm going to do another one now. And okay, cool. This one's awesome. This is a newer one, Elemental Goddesses. So there's the goddess of air, goddess of, you're going to see if you can see here. Yeah, you can see my mouse. Perfect. Goddess of air, goddess of fire, of earth, and of water. This is myself, my good friend Stephanie Persephone, aka Ether, Dr. Amber Galshani, and also Ingrid Henderson. So energy is embodiment of balance. So that's a word coming through right now for your concern of balance. Just listening for a moment. Yeah, so with balance, I'm not sure what stake you have in this. It doesn't seem like you actually have a stake, but maybe you knew John and what his wishes were. So I'm seeing that just by you being a space of love in whatever way is appropriate in this time of his passing. I'm not sure when he passed away. And I do see other people's comments like Rahul and other people who've commented. Just give me a moment as I finish this reading. Yeah, so you might be a space for listening for the family. You might be a space to bring loving attention to his will, such that it be followed. And I'm not a legal expert or a psychic, like I said, so I can't say yes or no, will his will be honored. However, and I'm not sure if it's just his will or you mean like an actual document, his real will. Gotcha. Yeah, like I said, you may just have to, I'm not sure your level of connection with the family. You may just have to pray to connect to his spirit, and connect to these goddesses that are seen here in the card. They are, whatever your beliefs are, doesn't matter. You could just purely believe that the elements like wind, fire, earth, and water can help us through this. So finding balance in how his physical assets are being actually divided up. And again, it might not be appropriate for you to intervene in that. I'm not sure, but it's always appropriate, coming from loving, heart-centered intention, to pray, connect to his spirit. That's number one. I'm hearing that really strongly. And then, like I said with that first card, focusing on yourself, doing practices you love for yourself with self-love, whether that's a bath, pedicures, manicures, facials, because it's so easy for you. I see as a tendency to focus so much on others, and I definitely can relate to that to myself, that you lose yourself in others. So remembering that you have a loving compassion, and I know you want his wishes to be honored. So yeah. So Rahul, I do see your comment. I just was catching up on everyone. I'm probably going to wrap up here after a few more people. Rahul, like I said to others, I'm not a psychic necessarily. There's a lot of information that comes through sometimes. Sometimes truths do come through. And I just let the cards guide us so that you can create your own intuition and guidance towards finding your own answers. But yeah, Rahul, I see that I have my own cards that I've actually co-created, and they're digital. Some of them are on the screen now. And so I will be using my cards that are related to, or the cards that were created through me, I should say, from Source, called Cosmic Catalyst cards. So Rahul, if you're still on, please let me know. I do like to make sure everyone's on, so I'll wait for another comment from you, Rahul, if you're still on. And I did see that long comment from somebody for sending a message to Fatima. Fatima, if you're still on, there's a comment that someone was sensing for you. So thanks, Babalawo. So yes, Rahul's still on. Awesome. And for Isnarda and anyone who felt really strong benefit from the readings, I so appreciate energy exchange to my information here, Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal, and you can see that in the description for the video as well. And just really appreciate that energy exchange. It really helps me to continue to do this. And Rosie, I can definitely come back around to you as well briefly. We'll see. And so Rahul, go ahead and uncross your arms and cross your legs. Let's take 4 deep breaths, really slow deep breaths, breathing in and out, in, out, in, out, in, out. So you were asking about your future. Remember first, before I read a card, that there are infinite strands, like weaving a carpet on a loom. There's infinite possibilities in truth, especially as humanity awakens to free will consciousness, and we have a blank slate, a blank page ahead of us. There are contracts and things that we came to create and experience, and certain events or lessons we wanted to learn, but the way that we learn those things can go infinite ways. So remember that, and know that unless you say so, and hopefully it's something positive, the future goes the way that it goes infinitely, and it goes the way you say more often than not if you're coming from that heart-centered loving attention. And so I'm going to go ahead and pull a card, closing my eyes and just intuitively scanning through. Oh, cool. This is exactly what I was just saying. So, yeah, it's interesting. This card comes through also because Rosie or Shine Moon was asking about her possibility of bringing in new life. So this sounds like a very stereotypical reading thing to say, but it's so true, especially for the collective and humanity too. We are in a time of infinite possibilities. And like I say in one of my books, we can choose one of the infinite timelines where we choose peace on earth. So you can choose one of the infinite timelines where you choose peace. So maybe there's something where there's unrest within yourself, and also maybe unrest or disease or Could actually be disease as well, maybe in your family or sickness, maybe lots of changes, maybe some relationships that like feel very uncomfortable. And just remember that we get to choose peace. That is a choice. Things don't happen to us, we choose them and allow them. As we move away from victim consciousness into ownership, then you're going to start to really see that. And you're going to, like this art piece has here, the goddess is holding the egg of life. And if you look carefully, the flower of life is actually on there. I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. Yeah, there you go. So it's actually a beautiful flower of life, which is actually what the cells look like when they multiply inside of a woman's womb. They look exactly like this geometry of the flower of life, or the egg of life, actually, is what it's technically called. So it's interesting that Rosie is asking about her bringing in new life, because this is what it looks like. And there's these different spirit animals, maybe they resonate with you. Owl, um, falcon, and crow, and mouse. And then the goddess sitting with a beautiful little baby girl, who's actually my daughter Zelda, who modeled for that picture, in the lush green forest. So really it's looking at, I'd say, number one, a loving home play or homework assignment for you is to sit down, Rahul, and look at all the resources and gifts and gratitudes you have around you. Maybe there's some uncertainty because you're trying to do it on your own, or you're trying to do it from a perspective of lack, or like you have to go do something to be worthy. So if you sit down and you take a pen and paper, or on your phone on a notepad, write down the tools and resources you have. Maybe it's your smartphone that you can use to start your own business, you can use to create videos, you can use to communicate, connect with people. It's your family, your friends, your resources, your communities. Maybe it's reconnecting with people. Maybe you've lost that connection. Maybe it's a safe place to sleep at night. Um, Maybe it's the food and water you have access to. Just coming back to the basics, so that way you have that foundation of abundance, instead of coming from like, oh, what's my future? What am I going to create? And then you're coming from lack, and then you're just going to keep attracting lack and wonder why you can't get out of that hamster wheel. So just invoking this energy of this card, of being able to trust that you are exactly where you need to be. And in terms of your future, sit down and visualize it. In fact, we can just do a quick mini meditation now of just what's the first image that comes to your mind when you allow yourself to think of what your dream life looks like. So maybe it's you going to airports because you're traveling and you're on a beach, or you're with family you haven't seen in a long time, or you're standing for an audience publishing a book. Take a moment and just let all the doubtful thoughts go to the side. And what are your dreams? Simply work backwards from there, from that dream. Like I tell my authorship clients when I'm telling people how to become an author like me, we look at the future and then we work backwards, and then they do it. So awesome. Yeah. And thanks, Rahul. And if you're at all, if you're resonating with that, go ahead and send me energy exchange and self-investment to the Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal on the screen. So appreciate it if that resonated with you. And Shine or Rosie, she was asking about a card. We'll just loop back around, and actually I am going to go ahead and stop after this because it's actually very late here in Colorado. So I'm going to go ahead and stop after this. So if anyone else comes, I will go again live. I don't have a schedule at this time, but just subscribe and follow me for future. And we're going to end with Rosie here. This card really resonates, so just take all the stuff I just said for Rahul, Rosie, or Shine, and it all applies to you. But let's go ahead and do one last one. Awesome. This is the one that I just released today, technically. It's art based off of my husband and I, and that the quote on it is, unconditional love is a portal. When we love, even across infinite space and time, we invoke quantum entanglement. So this is actually an art piece inspired by the sequel to my first book, Cosmic, called Cosmic 2.2 Level Up. And there's another character who are separated by many light years, and they're going to be reconnecting on Earth in 7 Earth years. And they're connecting telepathically and saying, I love you, connecting their third eyes and feeling that quantum entanglement, which is basically that phenomenon, quantum science, where one molecule is thousands and thousands of light years away from another. If you touch this one, the other one will jiggle instantaneously. So there's that infinite connection. And so, thanks, Rosie. Basically, I'm sensing with this, less so about the person who you co-created this being with that is connecting to you through your womb. I'm assuming that you already know that that you are carrying. Let me know if that's correct, or if you're just hoping for a pregnancy, let me know. I'm actually feeling a connection between you and the baby. So this card, even though it shows two like lovers, is the truth for this card, and this backstory connected to the novel, it can apply to anyone, because like you said in your comment, oh yeah, we're definitely soulmates. I've had a twin flame in this life before, and then now there's a difference between twin flames and soulmates I've actually learned in recent years, and that really makes sense that twin flames tend to bring up for us things that we need to heal, and sometimes it can be a little bit unsteady, whereas soulmates, there's a bit more steadiness. And our soulmates can also be children, family members, friends, doesn't have to be lovers. So key point with, can also apply to twin flames, but that tends to be more romantic. Soulmates can be anyone. And so that's why it's great that you even said soulmates in your comment. And I got this card for you to close out tonight, because it also applies to children. And I actually share with you that I consciously communicated with both of my children, Leo and Zelda, before they were even conceived, and then after they were conceived as well. That is something for you, loving home play or home assignment. Feel free to message me as well, and I can send you more information and my insights on this concept of conscious conception, conscious connection with our soul family before they are born. And so, yeah, you have a soulmate connection with the baby that is going to be born through you, and that there's some really powerful healing that's going to happen through this. And so now is an opportunity, especially before the baby's born. Again, I'm not sure if you're already carrying or you just want to be. It's an opportunity for you, like I said in your previous reading, focus on you, focus on your healing, and also throughout the process, meditate and connect to the spirit and ask, like, oh, how did we know each other? What are we healing in this life? What gifts do you want to bring in? And journal, and you can even use a voice memo and meditate and just actually let them speak through your voice. One thing I always tell everyone that I'm a teacher with is that you are your own greatest guide, and that you don't need a psychic or someone to speak energies or messages through for you. I'm glad I was able to for you today, and I can in the future. However, you don't always need that. We do need each other to help each other get the messages we need, but you're the best one. So tune in. I'm seeing you take baths or get pedicures, manicures, maybe a prenatal massage, and also start to connect into daily ritual. Maybe it's waking up a little early each morning and turning on a YouTube meditation or an app for 5 minutes, maybe 10, maybe 20, maybe more. Especially before you have kids, I highly recommend doing it longer if you can, because I have 2 kids, and sometimes it's challenging to do longer. However, I could totally get up earlier or stay up a little later like I'm doing now, and I do get to do that, thankfully. So I'm going to be meditating right after this. Rosie, thank you so much, and I hope that resonated with you. Again, if you resonated with that and felt benefit from any of this, feel free to share this live stream as well, and people can connect with me. I'm going to be continuing to do this. I'm going to be adding to these cards Some of the cards I didn't pull today: Leap of Faith. I did pull Egg of Life. I pulled Never Alone, Remembrance. Pulled Gaia's Hands. Never Too Late to Start Again. That's what this one is. Disillusionment. I did pull that one. Divine Discipline. This one's also really powerful for you, Rosie, with connecting and bringing in that beautiful being. That's my daughter right there. And I was pregnant with her in this picture. And this one, Follow the Call. Another card I didn't pull. Cosmic Mother, when I was carrying my daughter as well. And I think I pulled that one earlier. And yeah, this is the other one I didn't pull, Find Your Roar. So I'm sure I'll pull those ones in a future draw. So thank you all so much. Appreciate you. Again, if you resonated with any of this, those of you who chose to get readings, or even if you didn't and you still got resonance, because remember, whatever readings come through, it's really for all of us because we're all one. So appreciate any energy exchange you're able to give, even sharing the post. So much gratitude. Thank you so much. About to end the live at 1 hour and 11 minutes. 1 hour, 11 minutes long. Peace, peace, peace.